It's a pleasure to be here with everybody, to discuss the continual building of the Prime Pursuits program. And it's just been a joy ever since we've started this. This is one of the best decisions we've made in the past 25 years of our ranching, history. And moving into basically, like JB said, the Milldale Ranch is home to, the first registered cattle brand in the state of Nebraska when we were established back in 1884. And we're very proud of that. And there's a lot of times, ranching, I always think of, some of the words that have been passed down from my grandfather. And he would always tell me, Sean, he's like, in this industry, in this business, there are no 2 years alike. So you got to keep open-minded with continual education, and do not reject change. You would always say, change is the first step of progress. So don't shy away from that. And so here we are now, working together with the Prime Pursuits program. And after while we're extremely excited about our legacy for our 140 years, I constantly think about the future of the industry and where it's headed. And I honestly can truly tell you that Prime Pursuits is definitely going to be the future of the play a big part of in the cattle industry moving forward. And since the day that we joined Prime Pursuits back in 2018, it was then I realized that Bob McLaren, had a blueprint and a team assembled, that was designed not letting the Milldale Ranch fail. And I'm here to tell you, and that alone is reassuring nowadays, that you don't get that, in the industry. And I can tell you right now that being part of this team with Prime Pursuits and the crew, that the Milldale Ranch it's not failing. It is thriving. We have become more efficient, more sustainable, and even more profitable. And it just feels like after we've been ranching for 140 years, it does feel like we're just getting started. I mean, we're taking on a new endeavor together, and it's just it's great. And when it comes to Prime Pursuits, the team and the tools, it's reassuring knowing that if anything comes up, there's always somebody in Cameron or Hereford, Texas. Someone is ready to take my phone call and answer my questions or concerns, and that too is very reassuring. It's a great sight, a breath of fresh air, being with them. Anyways, when it comes to Prime Pursuits, the data and the information that they give us back on our herd from every round, is just priceless to for us. It enables us to make informed decisions on what genetics we're going to use from year to year, and progress the herd and make this herd better for the common purpose of progressing Prime Pursuits, better quality of beef. Because in my eyes, the future is going to be quality over quantity. It's going to separate one from the other, and Prime Pursuits is definitely taking it head on, and they're the leaders in this, in doing this in the industry. And I'm just saying, sometimes I sit and think about, how fast this whole program is moving, and I say, I wish my grandfather was here to take in all this, because he would just be utterly shocked and smiling from ear to ear, because my family is from Florida, and I've seen the Prime Pursuits entire process from start to Walmart. And I'm telling you right now, I've seen it with my own eyes. This program is working, and it's working fast. I mean, I'm watching people, shelves are getting cleared out by 2 o'clock in the afternoon. This is.
That's because Jeremy's driving up from Atlanta.
Probably. I've compared it to what I've seen at other grocery stores around Florida. It's no comparison. Let me tell you, it's something to get serious about real quick, because this is the team to be a part of, in my eyes.
Standing out there with Sean and team who were doing the video, I've learned so much with all of these folks. But he's saying, JB, you're essentially standing on top of an underground ocean. That caught me off guard at first. It was standing out in the sand hills, and he was giving me a baseball move. So I'm a baseball legend's teaching me how to play baseball out in what I thought was a pasture, but apparently it's standing on top of an ocean. So it was a lot for me to get my head around really quick. And then speaking of the fact that they've got the oldest brand in Nebraska, but continuously learning, you talked about how your parents and family really strive for learning and moving forward. So I loved your parallel about team, and you've brought that up to me so many times, and you've paralleled. And he played second baseman, and he talked about the people that had his back and his favorite. Ask him, who was the player that had your back? He said, JB, it wasn't a player, it was a coach. Kind of ties into some stuff that Don Yeager was talking about, but you keep bringing it up. You can pick the phone up and get Tracy on whomever, that sense of team. And now, you're hearing what Claire and Bonner are talking about, some advancements moving forward, right? Just from your perspective, from someone, a legacy that you've had so long, but yet looking so forward. What would you say to those who are not part of the program, that why they should be part of the program?
Well, being part of the program will give you it just goes back to when you're part of a successful team, okay, that builds confidence. It makes you confident, it makes you reliable, and it makes you consistent. And, working together, I think those are three key elements to the success of Prime Pursuits.
What were the three again?
It makes you confident, it makes you reliable, and it makes you consistent.
Yeah, I like it.
And I think those are three key points to make, that would advance the Prime Pursuits into the future.
Well, yeah. Callie Rooney, wow, invited me out to the beautiful ranch. We quickly found out we had a lot in common. Callie, just a multifaceted human being. Mom, teacher, musician. In fact, I got back on the camera. We're both musicians. Before we knew it, we're out in the field, and I'm doing a beat on the truck, and she's singing. Someone tried to find a guitar. We were crafting a song. But wow, just fifth generation female rancher. A new mom. Let's give her a hand on that. In fact, check this out. Her daughter, first plane ride was to where?
A 44 bull sale.
Yeah. First plane ride was to come to Cameron for a 44 bull sale. But yeah, we're standing out with her, and it was pretty remote, beautiful. Had to drive 30, 40, 50, 500 miles or something to get a Band-Aid. Man, she was talking about it. And the importance of sustainability and cover crops. And she was teaching me so much. And the thing I loved about her, again, I did not come from this world, but for the average Joe, you get dirt on your shoes, you try to knock it off, you try to wash it off your cars. She changed my mind about that. We came up with this line for her that when your family depends so much on soil, that your family starts treating soil like family. So powerful that they have to take care of everything, and so resourceful. And that's important to you. And then I asked, Callie, how is the Prime Pursuits team coming in and the tools, how is that helping you be more environmentally sustainable and sustain a lifestyle, right? Callie Rooney, everybody.
Absolutely. Thank you, JB. That was a beautiful introduction. I am extremely fortunate to be fifth generation on my 110-year family farm and ranch, where things have changed dramatically over the last 100 years. And it's changed with each generation. Like JB said, I'm fifth generation overall, and I have my sixth generation that we're raising now with my husband, Tyler Rooney, who is truly the backbone of our ranch. And I'll explain a little bit more about that. I'm third generation female to marry somebody, or be lucky enough, blessed enough, to marry somebody who has the same beliefs and legacy in the home that I grew up in, and my mom and my grandmother, and then great-grandfather and great-great-grandfather coming over from Norway. And so it's truly remarkable to find, at least three generations of men who are like, did I fall off the end of the world? Because I might have, but treat it like it's every bit of their home as ours, and teaching our daughter, moving forward. And so I'm very fortunate to be a part of that, and just blessed every day because he is truly the backbone. We run a Black Angus cow-calf operation out in South Central Montana, and it's just us. My parents are almost in their 70s, and they're amazing and supportive with our grandbaby, their grandbaby, and he's doing a lot of that work. As far as looking into where we came from, we started in sheep way back in the day, and they converted to Hereford and Angus. And then my parents took it and really built that Black Angus love and genetics. And my husband and I are trying to move forward in really building those genetics, and 44 and Prime Pursuits, and everybody here has helped us do that from the very beginning. We started out with a cold call that my dad made to Doug Slattery and Bob McLaren, just saying, hey, we found you online and we have Black Angus cattle. Maybe we could be a part of something with you. And they're like, I think you're exactly the fit that we're looking for. And so a beautiful family relationship began. And I would say, echoing everything you said, as well as we have always felt like family. I mean, you meet people you've never met before, and they come to your home, and you have a prime rib dinner together, home cooked on your grill, and you're like, this feels like a relationship that's been here forever. And not only a part of being that family, but Prime Pursuits has given us more of a conversation in that bottom dollar. Being on amazing video programs and other things in the last many decades, being able to come to the table and talk about what cattle are worth and what our bottom dollar is and what we need to get to stay sustainable as a family and make sure that there is a ranch here for our daughter and for our future grandchildren. That was a huge piece. And really it focuses on our goals that we've set have come back to where can we be sustainable and regenerative? Because we're not here to just stay the same. We've talked about that a lot this day, and what we want to do is we want to build back better. We want to be regenerative. We want to build our soil. We've used multi-species cover crops to do that. Changing from a grain and cattle operation, which my parents did, to planting turnips and peas in dry land, South Central Montana. It was a pretty big shock for a lot of the whole parties involved. And, we just went with God's grace and faith that we would be able to do this together. And we wanted to make a difference and do something better. We improved our soil. We're improving our genetics every day. We've got a passion. And just like Prime Pursuits in this program here, everybody has a passion to be a team and to work together. And I'm thankful for that.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you. Just like Jeremy said earlier, this program he has stopped going to steakhouses. Well, likewise, since I've been doing these documentaries on a lot of the ranchers, I literally have stopped going to theaters because I find them rather mundane and pedestrian once I meet folks. This gentleman right here, I was at his ranch, and he's tall, and he was striking a pose, leaning against the post, telling a story about a little boy who had grown up in a very humble 600 square foot home with several siblings. He told a story of a little boy who looked out over this vast pasture and somehow would dreamed of how could one grow up to eventually be a rancher and own that. And this little boy, the story he told me about, could only play with rocks. He had 3 rocks. Those were his toys. They were not race cars. They were not tanks. They were not. He pretended they were cattle. So this little boy that grew up in this 600 square foot house dreamt of one day becoming a rancher. He had nothing really other than big dreams. He dreamt big. That little boy was Jerry Bob Daniel. And when we worked on his documentary, we named it Dream Big, Work Hard, and Give Back. And that's just what he's done. And he left us with a line that he can't believe how far his dreams had come from that little boy leaning there that could only play with 3 rocks because he couldn't afford toys to the person he is now with his family and delivering amazing food to people like Jeremy on southeastern United States. Dear sir, tell us your story.
Well, you set it up well. You know, those 3 little rocks, I can tell you the date I lost them. It's July 1965. We had moved from our house because I'd been born there 7 years earlier. My mother and father, go back a little bit, were Both had about a ninth grade education, married at 16. My older brother was born at 17. I was born when they were 18, and my little brother was born when they were 19.
They didn't waste time.
No, they didn't waste any time. But we were a happy family because we had something that I really treasure today, and that's called values. Our family really instilled values in my brothers and I. And my dad always had a saying, and I've always held true to this: if you want to fix a problem, go look in the mirror every morning, every day, and challenge yourself every day to be better and do something better. And I've never forgotten that. I've lost both my parents to at an early age to different various things. But I want to say, Randy Block was talking something, I believe this morning, he said he was in business in 1980. I started in 1981 managing a ranch. I was 22 years old, and I've been managing for 44 years. I've gotten into 2 different programs, one in the 90s and one much later. The first program was a complete failure because we looked at everyone like Warren White there, who's in the feedlot business, as the enemy. We looked at maybe if we had calves, the guy we're selling those feeder calves to, it was the enemy. And everybody was the enemy except us, when in fact we were ourselves our own enemy. And we didn't know how to build a team around us. And the second company that tried it just didn't have the finances to stay with it. But I'm telling you, 44 farms, McLaren Farms, are the right deal. They're the real deal. And I'm just blown away here at the information that they're willing to share with us and help us. And they've helped us financially in a big way. We have, by the way, Warren, to me, it started out in this talk this morning about trust and hard work. Hard work, really, for all of us is pretty easy because that's what we do. We all believe in it. Trust is a little bit tougher to build on. It takes time, and I don't believe trust is given in 5 minutes. I think it's earned, and it takes a lot of time. Well, they've earned my trust here. And I can't tell you, my father had a saying, you're either moving forward or you're moving backwards. Those folks that think they're standing still are moving backwards. And if you don't believe that, just sit still a while. But I've turned a lot of this over to my son. And oh, by the way, my great partner for 43 years is sitting back there with a phone trying to tape me right now. My wife, Eugenie. If it weren't for her, none of this would have been possible. We've been a great team for 43 years.
They met at a dance.
we met at a dance. We started out, I've got to tell you a little bit about that, because it's kind of our story. I just wanted to be a cowboy, and I wanted to get into management. And so I met this lady in May of 1979, I believe it was. We married in 81. She's not going to want me to say this, but she's from Greenwich, Connecticut, or New York. And she just sort of won me over. We married in October of 1981. Within 6 months, I hadn't written a check over $1,000 in my entire life. My first check that I wrote on a cattle deal was $252,450. And my interest rate was 18%. And I'll tell you, we went through some tough years for about 10 years. And I searched and searched for ways to get out of that dilemma. And I finally found it in the early 90s when we started looking at other ways. It's been spoken of in these earlier conversations about doing things differently and looking outside of what you've been doing. And we started combining our ranches, getting closer together, and making those changes. So I just challenge everyone to really look at 44 Farms, McLaren Farms, at what's going on here, because they are the real deal.
Oh, it's wonderful. The second baseman talked about team. You talked about being the future. This guy talked about trust. It's fantastic. What a great group of people. Again, I've had the honor to go to all of their ranches, all welcome into their homes, fed us, treat us like family. It's been unbelievable. Before I leave you, I thought my teammate Jason Schimbles drove fast until I rode with his son on a dirt road, and it took me months to get over that ride. It's unbelievable.
You ought to meet my grandson.
Okay, I might bring Jeremy with me. I do as a bodyguard. It was unbelievable. Lance Sente is last, and I've not done a video with Lance, but I hope I do. But as we were talking, I was getting to know him, and so many people have said so many things about him that I thought he must have been 260 years old. The man apparently knew so much and had been around so much. But wow, you have been with us long before Prime Pursuits. You've seen a lot, you've done a lot. You depended on the Angus Strong and the 44 genetics, and you built it. And so when we sat down and started talking, I got this real great sense from you that you depended on the genetics, and you built your program, and it's helped you diversify. And then that man that everybody always brings up, that Warren White guy, told you years ago, Lance, something big is coming. Is this what he was talking about? Prime Pursuits? And then what you heard today about what Claire and those guys brought up, that some other big things are coming. Would love for you to talk about you, introduce yourself, your history, how you got involved. Something big is here and bigger things are coming, right? Thank you,
Right.
sir.
Well, thank you, JB. And I guess I have everybody fooled if they think I'm that smart. But, yeah, it little over 10 years ago, I guess it was. My family and I were feeding cattle with Warren and taking them all the way to slaughter, and we were kind of looking for a company that we could stick with. And he said, "Well, I think there's a good program for you, and I think your cattle would fit." And that was the stakes program. And from there, it kind of blew up, if you will. I was going to Dallas to Thanksgiving, and I was spending too much time in the city, so I said I wanted to go to Cameron, and Warren said, "Well, let me call Doug Slattery for you and see if he'll meet you." And 2 days before Thanksgiving, I went to 44 Farms, and Doug drove me around, and we established a relationship, and kind of one of those deals. Well, what can I do, for you, and what can you do for me, and we'll just, make things better. And since then, we've been buying the 44 bulls. We always thought our cattle were good. I believe that they've become even better now. Calves are big, yearlings are big. Carcass data is great. And so from there, I was just getting excited, wanting to do more, and that's when Warren said, something big is coming. And this took about a year or two to happen, and I would always tell him, whatever it is, I want to be a part of it. And I'm sure he knows that I bother him all the time. And so here we are, and I think it's a really good program because not only have we benefited our family and operations, but we've also been able to have other people, enroll in the program, the neighbors, just through word of mouth or whatever, and they've benefited from it also. Their cattle have gotten better from buying the bulls, and just everybody has marketing. I think marketing is a big deal. And this Prime Pursuits program allows everybody to feel a little bit more at ease. You don't have a mean buyer breathing down your back. I think everybody buying the cattle are great. So
It's fabulous. And again, after we finish today, we're going to get to go out, and you're going to get to spend time with the other groups down there. And it sounds like everybody feels good about the team and the communication, transparency. Dear sir, what would you like to add to it?
The vision of Prime Pursuits is just the sky's the limit. I mean, just look what they're talking about here. I mean, this Prime Intelligence is it's just mind blowing, basically, to sum it all up. I mean, there's a lot of things have changed right here in this room in the last 6 years.
Wow.
And if it can change that fast in 6 years, I'm pretty darn excited for the next 10.
I love that.
I mean,
Have you heard some interesting stuff today?
Absolutely. I mean, this whole day, yesterday, meeting people. I mean, you talk about how we're getting impacted by this Prime Pursuits. It's remarkable and unbelievable. And the fact is it's going to get better, like you said. And all I can see is what's in front of me and what's ahead of us. And that's, we've got the sustainability programs, we've got these regenerative mindsets, we've got conversations about the markets and the price of these calves, and that your quality is worth more, that your relationship to us as people, because we do business with people, your family, your daughter Nellie, they remember you by name. This entire team knows, hey, how's your baby Nellie doing? Isn't she gonna be a year here? It's like, I don't even know if my dad remembers her birthday, but Bob McLaren does, and that's important.
Come see me about that.
It makes you feel like you're a part of their family and this team, and really, that data it's undescribable. As a producer who brought with me cow books, and I have 5 years, and I still have a case full at home of every book we call, our cow Bible for the year, and it's got every mark, every cow, every nickname that they get. And now to see this all go digital and to be able to incorporate that together, my husband and I often joke, maybe if we were registered, we would have really good genetics, but we're about as close as a commercial operation could get. And now these guys are taking it and making it digital and accessible, and we get to meet these consumers. It's inspiring.
She's about to get into a rap song. If you could find your 3 rocks, what would you tell them?
Open your mind and open your opportunities. That's what I had in mind to say. My father always referred back to him and what he always said. Surround yourself with people you can trust. And I want to say something about Bob McLaren. If you can't be around him 5 minutes and figure out that he's a trustworthy man, something's wrong with you. And I told him that last year at the bull sale, personally, but I want to tell all of you I said that. And I mean it. He's a trustworthy man. He's the right man to run this organization.
You think bigger things are here? Bigger things are coming?
I think bigger things are here, and much bigger things are coming just from what we saw today. What Claire and everybody rolled out is amazing, and for us to be able just to do it, look at it at the click of a button is probably something that most people in the cities don't think a bunch of cowboys are going to get together and talk about at a convention.
Yep. Warren White, are you proud of this group? Yep. Let's give them a hand. Thank you.